I'm here with April Clark Williams, and we are shining the light on this amazing, magnificent member, Sister Spotlight Facebook Live. So, April Clark Williams is just sharing how she found us on Facebook Live, and we had our first call, and how impactful that was. And wow, you are a lifetime member now. You've been a member for about 2.5 years. And do you remember when you first joined, where like you said you were stuck, you didn't realize how much stuff you were holding on to? There was, after our very first breakthrough session, I remember that it was so powerful. You were holding on to a lot. And I know you kind of felt like lost, like, what do I do? How do I make changes? Right. It's like you became aware on our breakthrough session of a lot of things that were getting in your way, but you weren't quite sure what to do or how to do it, or how to clear the way for the life that you really wanted, right? There were some certain things getting in your way. And
Yes,
so, do you remember that conversation? I remember that conversation.
it
It was
was like you were doing like a 7 day. I forgot what
Oh,
it's called, like
yes,
that
we were doing
seven
a
day.
7 day challenge. We were doing an online
Yeah.
challenge. That's right. Yes.
Yes, I remember. Yeah, I couldn't remember directly what it was, but it was a 7 day challenge, and I decided each day just brought me back more and more to say, okay, I see this. I want to step over this. I need to get past this. I see this. It just, like I said, it brought really a lot of stuff to surface.
Mm,
It really did. And like I said, our first conversation after that 7 day, you know, I really needed to hear the things that you had to say. A lot of the other women in the group had to say, where I didn't feel judged.
yeah. And how did that feel? What was that
It,
like for you?
on our first conversation, like you said, you remember that conversation? That was the first time I cried in a long time.
Mm,
It really was, but it wasn't about a negative cry. It was the things that I needed to release,
mm,
that I had been holding on to, and I needed to let it go. And I had consistently told myself, no, you're not important, just do everything for everybody. But it made me realize that I can't fix everything for everybody. And
mm.
all those things you're doing is causing health issues on me, which is shortening my time. And then the question was, am I happy? And I wasn't. Even though I would pretend I was happy, I wasn't happy.
Wow. Thank you for being so real and raw and vulnerable and authentic here, because you're giving other women courage here. And I know I have goosebumps all over me right now. I know there's women listening that feel this way. I felt that way, as you know, when my journey started 14 and a half years ago. I thought I was happy. On the outside, it looks like you're happy. Everybody thinks you're happy, right? And then when you really dig deep and you start to discover things, you're like, whoa, oh, maybe I'm not really happy on the inside, right? And so the fact that you're willing to share that is so huge. And I think it's going to really give a lot of women the courage and the freedom to realize that maybe they're not really happy. Because a lot of times we go through the motions and we're so busy in doing mode as professional working women or business owner or career women or moms or whatever role we play, we're always doing that. We don't stop to look at deeply and reflect within ourselves what's really going on in there. We're too busy. We're like the hamsters on the wheel. So if you're a busy professional career woman, working woman, mom, whatever it is that you do, how many of you get this? Tori said, beautifully said. Isabel is watching. Awesome. Rana, Susan is watching. Leslie's watching. Awesome. Yeah. So this is powerful, because I think what you have to share tonight is going to give other women permission to see that it's okay to reach out for support, that it's okay to be vulnerable, right? And it's okay to ask for help. And when you were willing to get out of your comfort zone and finally say yes to that, what happened? Like I remember you joined our wellness program, which was about 2.5 years ago. We had a wellness program that was amazing. It was a group program, and it was about 12 weeks. I'm trying to remember. I think it was about 12 weeks or 16
Yeah,
weeks. I can't
it was
remember. It was a
the
few
summer.
months.
Yeah, the summer wellness
Summer
and
wellness program. Yep. And you
negative
became a
petals.
member, right? You became a member. And then eventually you became a lifetime member because you saw the value of, well, I guess I really love this sisterhood and I want more. And then you joined our Nurture Your Petals group program. So we've got a lot of really powerful online group programs. They're group coaching programs that will help you transform your life in a supportive community with other women. And wow, we saw a huge change in you just in that summer program, that 3-month program. How many of you who are watching right now were in the summer wellness program with April? And you remember how April came in at the beginning in June and how she left at the end by September. Wendy is here. She says, I am so proud of you, April, for doing this and sharing yourself with the world. Woo! Carrie Lynn, I remember you were in the wellness program with us as well. Karen Michelle McMillan, is that your friend?
Yes.
She said she's so proud of you, April. Go, April. Go, April. April's a rock star, right? And some big things happened for you as a result after you left that, finished that summer wellness program and you continued to be a member. What were some major changes and decisions that you made in your life, and what's happened since? Kind of take us through your story of what you've created in your life since then and what's happened, all the positive things that have happened for you.
Well, my first step was after, our accountability buddies, which were, I say, two amazing women. They made me realize that I've been wanting to go back to school. I just kept putting it off, making excuses of why I couldn't.
Mm,
But I realized those were just excuses. So I decided to go back to school. And if we take a step back to our Nurture Our Petals, with us learning boundaries, I
mm,
had to put a lot of people, whether I love them or not, I had to put them at boundaries and let myself know that I'm important and I can't fix everything for everybody. And if these people truly cared about me, my health, and my well-being, they will either be supportive or I just have to let them go or keep them at arm's length. The question was, what do I want to do? So since then, I've now hit my third year of college, going for higher nursing. I've been a nursing assistant for a long time. Now I'm going for my RN. I've consistently made the dean's list, which I didn't think I would do. It's really been a lot. I've cut off a lot of people, regardless to whether they were family or friends. I realized that those were negatives and not positives. And I just had to let those people go, as hurtful as it was. I just had to let them go. There's times where even still I call a lot of the sisters, they know who I'm talking about, because I know that these women will not be judgmental. They will let me know whether I'm right or wrong in the situation. They will be supportive, when I need someone to talk to, where I feel like I can't talk to the people that's supposed to be family, that's supposed to be direct friends, because a lot of times I've always heard negativity of how I'm wrong. And I've made a big gear in that change that I'm not wrong. For me, thinking about me and me wanting to do more for me, I'm not selfish. I'm not wrong. It's, what do I want to do to be happy? I've done everything for everybody. I have 3 kids. My youngest will be graduating high school. I've done all that I've done in raising my kids, 2 college students. It's time for me to think about me. And so I continue to move forward. I've earned 3 associates that I did not expect to earn on my role of moving forward. I will be doing my interview for the RN program this spring. All the things that I was told that I wouldn't be able to do, or the negativity that I heard that I wasn't capable of doing, me closing those people out, I'm able to do those things.
Wow.
Do I feel bad sometimes? Yeah, I feel bad because I miss those people, but then I have to weigh the options. Is that person a positive or is that person a negative? What are my boundaries? And those people don't fit the boundaries.
Yeah. Can y'all feel that? I want to see what they're saying. This is so powerful, April. I know that you are this is so inspiring because there are so many women like you that have negative friends or negative family members that tell them they can't do this and they can't do that, or they may have family and friends that they feel obligated to, and they're the rescuer, you're the fixer of everybody, right? You're the one that's always taking care of everybody else. You know who you are, who's watching. And right, April, that's been you. And you realize that it's okay to put myself first. It's okay to follow my dreams. It's okay for me to say no to other people so I can say yes to myself. And that doesn't make me a bad person, right?
Right.
That's called honoring yourself. That's called standing in your power. That is self love. That is self empowerment, which is a branch of self love. And when we do that as moms, if we have kids or grandkids, we're modeling that by example for our children and our grandchildren. How amazing is that? Because when we put everybody else first all the time, and we're always at the bottom of the barrel, what are we teaching our children? What are we teaching our students if you're a teacher? What are we teaching our grandkids and the people around us? That no self-respect, right? They don't need to respect you if you don't respect you. They don't need to honor you if you're not honoring yourself. And I feel that because I did the same thing for many years. So it takes courage to do that. And you came in here and you were open hearted and you were open minded and you learned it and you applied what you learned and you put it into practice. And then you were out the gates running, right? I remember you talking to us in the wellness program saying, I really want to go to school, but I have all these people in my life and I'm not sure. And how do I, handle these people? And how do I say no? And what do I do? And can I really do this? And we're like, yes, go do it. We believe in you. You got this. There's no stopping you, sister, right? You had a whole team of women there that was cheering you on.
I
And
think that that was my biggest step in moving forward is me starting school. When I first started school, I had to learn how to turn my ringer off on my phone. I had to focus on school. I had explained to a lot of people that I started school, how important it was. And even though people would call, even though I said that this was important to me, they would still call, still would feel like, okay, they're a priority. But there were consistent arguments in the beginning of, are you really concerned about what I want? Because this is what I want. And sometimes those people would get mad. Sometimes they would not call. Or if we're being honest, they would call my friend and they would call my kids just to get in contact with me. So what I had to do was I couldn't be mad at my kids. I had to sit down with my kids and have a meeting with my kids and let my kids know that if I wanted to talk, I would answer my phone. If it's not an emergency, people are not going to leave a message. I said, so I'm not going to be mad at you guys for answering your phone, but make some type of communication so that we can signal of whether or not I just don't want to, I want to focus on me.
mm,
And that's where setting those boundaries of with our petals, that's where that big step started of me setting those boundaries.
yeah.
I
What are
love
your
everybody. But I love everybody. I try to fix everything. I went all these years of trying to help everybody. If you could see my life of everything of me helping family, some people didn't have anywhere to stay. They would come stay with me. All that. I've always been that person with an open heart and an open door. But at the end, there was only a select few that would help me.
Wow. So what do your kids think now after seeing their mom go through this process in the past 2.5 years? Like, what is the response you've gotten from your kids?
My kids are actually really supportive. Sometimes I'll leave everybody and just be on campus just to study because I realize sometimes me being in the house is a distraction. So they won't call me. Everybody, if we work together, the kids will cook dinner, so I don't have to worry about people eating. They do as much as possible to help me. If I say I'm tired, they'll let me sleep. I still support them in their positives. I don't shut them out, but they've come to respect that mom says she's tired. Can one of you guys cook? I don't feel like doing this. Can one of you guys wash the clothes? So they have all become extremely helpful in me trying to succeed and do more. My kids told me they were proud of me when I told them what I had done this past term. And they're like, okay, mom, we're gonna have a party. Everybody wants to help. So I explained to my kids that it's never too late to make a change. It decides on what you want to do. And if you want to make a change, you have to start with you. You can't start outside. You have to start inside you, or that change means nothing. So,
Wow. So you are such an incredible example for your children, for your friends and family, for the people that know you, for the sisterhood, for the women that are watching right now. I just want to see what they're saying. Terry says, you are amazing and such an inspiration. This is such a powerful message. What a rock star you are, April, says Tracy. Carrie Lynn says, you are beaming. April Clark Williams, I'm so happy for you. Let's hear it. Ladies who are watching, let April know right here in the chat. How does this message land with you? What are you feeling right now when you hear her share this story? Because this is really powerful. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Oh, Kelly Shears is here. Kelly was in the wellness program with us as well. This is so powerful. Carrie Lynn says, April was my first accountability partner in the summer wellness program. You are amazing, April. Yes, yes, yes. I love it. Leslie says, I'm beaming your amazing transformation. Beautiful. One of our fellow members. Love to hear from some more ladies that are watching. What are you feeling right now when you heard April share her story? And she's got more. So you had the courage to go back to school against all odds because your family was not all in your corner rooting for you and saying, yeah, go do this. We got you. They were giving you a heck of a hard time about it, weren't they? But you
yeah.
had a different family that was there cheering you on. What family was that cheering you on, saying, you got this, you go, girl?
My sister is an I Am Complete Woman. It's
That's
Yeah,
that's
all of them.
family. The sisters in I Am Complete Woman Sisterhood was the family. I remember you saying that the other night in Circle when we were in one of the circles. You said, when I asked everyone, what have you received from Circle? And you said, my family. You are my family. And it just hit me so deeply in my heart. The sisterhood has become a family, a lifeline, a support system of other like-minded, heart-centered women that are there for you. Like, we don't have to be related by blood. We are connected by heart. That's pretty darn powerful, right? Terry says, it makes me want to go after a big opportunity in front of me this week. I love it. What would you say to Terry right now? What do you want to tell her, April?
Terry, I would tell you the best thing to do is go for it. And once you achieve it, you wouldn't even know how to express it. Once you achieve it, it would fulfill so many things that you don't even realize is there. Just take the step and do it. Like I said, like when I posted on Facebook about me clicking to apply for those 3 associates, I didn't know what to say, what to do. All I could do was just sit there and say, wow, I've made it this far and I want to continue doing it for me. And Terry, go for it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Wendy says, having been my accountability partner, April has grown so much and love that she reaches out for support as busy as she is. Yes. And Terry says, thank you. Karen, your friend, Karen Michelle McMillan says, April, you have rubbed off on me. I love this, to set boundaries with my family. It's all about me now. Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you
had
for our conversation a few days ago. I love it. See what's happening here? What happens to these amazing women in the sisterhood is when you start having positive change in your life and transformation, it doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone else around you, right? When you're making these positive changes, now you're part of this positive ripple effect in the world, talking to your friends and family and being an influence in your community. And look at that. Your friend is now creating boundaries for her family thanks to your transformation and growth. So that is incredible ripple effect right there. Amazing. Carrie Lynn says, you make me want to keep moving forward. I want to feel what you feel. It is truly beautiful, sister. I love that. Wow. So
that's
April,
that's the beautiful thing is you're able to spread the support that you get. You want to share it. Like with my friend Karen, we had a conversation 2 nights ago, and she was explaining some things to her, and I mean to me, and like I told her, don't feel bad. I said, set those boundaries. If those people are truly there for you, then they will respect those boundaries. If they're not, then it's just time to let them go. And I explained that to her. I have 2 women that have started back to school from my encouragement, and sometimes we'll call, they get discouraged, and I'll talk to them like, "Are you doing this for you, or are you doing it for other people? Your main goal should be doing it for you."
wow. So you have, because of your bold, courageous move that you made in your own life, you have now inspired people that you know to go back to school. That's pretty darn amazing. Talk about more ripple effects that you're creating in the world by choosing you first. You chose you first. And so this is really, I think, the key message here is you've learned how to choose you first and make yourself a priority. It doesn't make you a selfish person. It doesn't make you a bad mom. It doesn't make you a bad wife or a bad friend or daughter. It makes you a human being who has chosen to love and honor herself so that she can show up better for others in the world, because this is a dream that you've had for a long time and you held back, right? Isn't that what I heard you say? So you're actually fulfilling your dream that was in your heart for a very long time that you were afraid to do because you didn't have the people in your life encouraging or supporting you to go for it. They were telling you, no, you can't do that. And that's the power of sisterhood. That's the power of community. When you have a like-minded community of women who are supportive, who see your brilliance and your greatness, and they're there cheering you on, there's nothing you can't do, right? And this goes for all of us. I love that. Is there anybody else watching right now that wants to say anything to April, or how does this land? I want to hear like from the women that are watching. I see a lot of hearts and uh, a lot of emojis going and flying. Thank you so much for the hearts. And again, if this is resonating with you and you know other women that could use this inspiration in their life, please tag them here in the chat. Tag our fellow sisters that are not here if you know some other women or friends in your life that could use this, or hit that button and share this video, because ladies, there's nothing like women supporting women. That's really what it comes down to, women supporting women. And we learn from each other. I learned from you, you learned from me, you learn from your fellow sisters in the sisterhood. We learn from each other, right? There's no guru in this group. I'm not the guru. I am the lucky lady who's the creator and founder, who brings all these amazing women together, and we get to grow together and heal together and learn from each other. That's what the sisterhood is truly about. Dora says, April Clark Williams' journey has been wonderful to witness. Such an inspiration. Coming from a very inspirational sister over there, Dora.
Yeah.
Right? Yep, right. Like, I love how a lot of the women that have known you for several years have, we get to witness and watch each other's growth. And sometimes it's much easier to see the amazing growth in each other than it is in ourselves, right? Like
Yeah.
we see it, like your sisters see it in you. I see it in you so clearly. And what's exciting for me is when you finally see it. and you come back to me and you get it. You're like, yeah, it's working. I'm growing. I'm changing, right? Like that's the best, most rewarding feeling for me to witness you and your growth. I see somebody trying to come in there.
That was
um,
my daughter.
how's your daughter? Tell her hello. You you were an inspiration, I'm sure, to your kids and to your daughter. And they may not be able to express that right now, but they will one day. That one day they will come back and they will say, thank you, Mom, for showing us how important it is to honor yourself.
Yes.
I know they have learned, and they're learning about boundaries because that's something, we didn't learn as kids. We didn't learn that as little girls, how to create boundaries. We learned, right, that it was selfish. We had to put our kids first and everybody else at work and all the people first. And then we're down here at the bottom of the barrel. But the truth is that when you're at the bottom of the barrel, you can't serve anybody, right? That's like trying to give from an empty cup that's depleted. You cannot give from an empty vessel. You got to give from the overflow. So we've got to fill our own cup, right? Honor ourselves, give back to ourselves first, and then we can give to the family, the friends, the people at work, and the people that need us from the overflow. And that's when we can show up at our best, not at our worst, not when we're cranky and tired. I remember when I first met you, you were trying to like balance work and family, and then you started school and you were just like juggling like a million balls in the air, right? And now you've really honed in and focused in on school and your family.
Yeah, because I
And
even quit the first job when I first started school, they, I was trying to work with them around my school schedule. I explained to them how important this was, and they didn't want to work with my school schedule. And so I had to make a decision how important this job is to me for me moving forward, or do I stay stuck in this situation? Now, the funny thing is that a lot of the old employers that I had, they realized I'm going back to school and everybody's trying to figure out where am I going when I'm done.
mm,
And I told everybody I'm not committing to anyone.
they're all going to want to hire April now. They're like, we want this chick working for us, right? Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Kathleen Sellers says hi. She's here. Awesome. Kathleen was in the wellness program with us, so I'm sure she remembers how you were when you first came in, and you were, I remember, insecure and unsure and afraid, right? All the things, like, and nothing wrong with that. Many of us have been there, or maybe some people are there right now. And that's why I wanted you to be the first one to come on here for the Sister Spotlight monthly magnificent member, because what a great way to kick off the new year with your story. I know that there's a lot of women that are going to be watching, not just live, but the replay as well, who need to hear what you had to say tonight. Are there any words of wisdom that you would give to the women that are watching right now? What's the biggest aha or thing you've learned on your journey since you joined the sisterhood that's really helped you feel like you have a happier, healthier life and the life that you've always wanted?
I would say the biggest thing that I learned is it's okay to let go, and it's okay to reach out support if it's there. A lot of the women here have been extremely supportive. And like you said, when I first started, I wouldn't talk, I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't, because I felt out of place. But then once I started talking to the women, like you said, I realized that we had more in common than I thought. And there was no judgment. I was able to just be me and not worry about how people felt, not worry about whether I was right or wrong. If there were, like I said, if there were situations where something needed to be said, it would be said, but it wasn't, nothing was never in a bad manner. And even when we have our little breakout sessions, you always end up with the right person at the right
Mhm.
time.
Yes.
And
In our circles, we have breakout rooms in our virtual monthly circles for our sisterhood. It's always the right woman in that breakout room that you need to talk to, right? And support you.
if we go on a funny thing of the last one that we had, Wendy,
Yep.
I was having a very bad day, and I had just so happened to call Wendy earlier that day because I was really upset and I had to talk to somebody. And then once we got ready to go to our little breakout rooms with our sister group, I said in my head, how funny would it be if I end up in a room with Wendy? And that's who I was with.
There you were. There she was. I love it. That was so powerful. Oh my gosh. And I know she was grateful that she ended up in the room with you. And it wasn't an accident. We call that's not a coincidence. We call that the universe putting you with who you're supposed to be with at that moment,
Right
right?
at the right time. Is the other day another sister contacted me just out of nowhere, and me and her talked for quite a few hours. Just like if
Wow.
we were regular people, she just
Yeah.
called to check, see how I was doing with school, which was reassuring that even though it's somebody miles away, they want to know what I'm doing, how am I doing, and it was really good to hear somebody say, I want to know what you're doing. How did everything work out? Because she was the person who helped me with one of my exams. And if you don't mind me saying, but you know, Yesenia,
Oh,
she bought,
Ikania.
yeah,
Ikania.
yeah, Kanya, I
She was in
apologize.
the
Kanya,
wellness program with us as
yeah,
well. Yes, we should tag her. Somebody tag Ikania. She's got to watch this.
yes,
She'll be so proud
Ikanya,
of you.
yes, Ikanya, I was in my first nursing class and we had to do an interview with a nurse. And I emailed Ikanya and said, I need help. And Ikanya said, I said, I need to interview Aryan. I know that you're Aryan. Would you be happy to do that for me? And she was willing to do it, no problem, everything. And then a few days, like I said, the other day she called, she asked me, how did the class go? You know, everything to show that somebody was concerned about my positive. So
Mm.
that's why I said it, don't feel bad about reaching out for that support, even if it's those little small little things that you feel are unimportant, they really are important to you. You just have to have the right people to show you that what you want is important. You don't have to cover it up, you don't have to hide it to please other people. You just need the right people in your corner to support you and know that those things that are important to you are important. They are major importance. So yeah, just reach
Wow.
out.
Wow. Kathleen says, you are definitely an inspiration. April, Wendy says, my pleasure. I love you, April. Awesome. Yeah, I hope Ikania watches this replay back because I'll send her a message and tell her she's got to watch it now.
If we just be on a like a serious note, once I finished my when the counselor told me what was going on with me in school and what I earned, I actually took the time to email the two accountabilities that I had, which was
Oh,
Wendy.
your accountability partners in which
Yes,
program you're talking about?
um,
Petals or
the
Wellness or
pedals.
Petals? Okay.
It was Wendy and Carol Ann.
Brilliant. Yeah, I think they're on right now, both of them.
And I took the time to tell both of them thank you. Like
Mm,
I told them how much I appreciated their support. I don't think that I would have continued without that support group that I needed because there were times where I wanted to give up. There were times that I just wanted to stop, but then I had to keep saying like they were like the motivation of moving forward, moving forward. Like, are you going to be happy? This is for you. This is not for everybody else. And it was happy to have that and not somebody consistently saying, oh, just quit. You're not going to do it. You're going to it was a lot of family members that I didn't tell them that I started school until after I started school because I didn't want to hear their negativity.
mm. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Can anyone relate to that? Anybody that's watching right now have negative family members or negative friends in your life or negative people at work that are not necessarily the most supportive people and maybe they shoot you down? Anybody have that? I've had that in my life a lot, and this is really important to share. So you really kept that sacred. You made the decision. You knew it was what you wanted. You listened to the people that supported you, and you held it close to your heart. You know, you didn't share it with everyone because you knew you may not get the support from certain family members. And now, what do those family members think? I'm just curious. What do they say now? Like two
One
and a half
person,
years.
one particular person said that she was really proud of me. Since I have made changes, she's been very supportive. She understands that when I say I don't want to talk or I just want to be left alone. Those are my boundaries. That's what I want. And that's just how I feel. Some of the other people, I just had to let them go. They didn't want to make changes. They were negatives instead of positives. I couldn't fix it. And I know that when I sit down and I look at myself, I've done everything I can to help that person. So there's nothing else I can do until that person starts to fix their self. I can't fix their life. And so those people, I just had to let go. And the ones that were positive in my life, I just kept them. So it was really hard to let the people go that because they were really close family, like extremely close family. And yeah, like I said, I've done some of those people I hadn't seen in years, and then once I built that relationship back with them, I felt like if I let them go, then I was wrong and they were going to disappear because I was missing those people for years. But their life is their life, and if they want to be a part of my life, then they'll be supportive and not a negative. So that's where you have to decide. It's hard to kind of weigh those options, but you have to choose if you want to move forward. Those are your boundaries. You have to say no. And that was one of my biggest things of telling people no.
Mm, wow. Wow. I'm just going to beam you. Now, for those that don't know what a beam is, if you're in the sisterhood, you know, when we beam you like this, we are beaming you with love and light and positive energy. And just, I'm just witnessing you. And everybody who's here, send some like extra hearts and emojis and smiley faces and beams to April right now, because I'm just so, so, so proud of you for all that you have pushed through. There's been so much resistance from family, especially. And that's not an easy task. If you have people like that in your life, you know what I'm talking about. And I heard a couple things you said. So I just want to piggyback on that. So one of the things I heard you say is it's not my job to fix other people. So it's no one's job to fix anyone, although we may think it's our job to fix people or rescue people. And no one really needs fixing. We just need a little healing, perhaps. So that's what we call it here in the sisterhood. We all sometimes need healing, not fixing. And one thing I know you've learned in the sisterhood is that I can't change what other people say or do, right? I have no control over what other people do or say or how they behave. The only thing I can change is what I do and what I choose to say or do, right? And you did that. And then the rest was up to them. And then if they weren't going to be supportive of you, you let them go. So letting go of toxic people that are not supporting you is not an easy task. And it's an important one. It's an important way of honoring yourself, loving yourself, and being a self-empowered woman. The other thing I heard you say was about, I have to create these boundaries, right? So it's all about choices. You choose to create these boundaries, right? You made these choices, and because you made these choices to create these boundaries, people are now respecting you in a different way, aren't they? They're not calling you all day long. They're not driving. Like in the beginning, they were like, what the heck? Why isn't she answering the phone? Why can't I get a hold of her? Because typically in the past, you would drop everything and you would be there for the people, even if it was not in your best interest. How many of you have done that, where you have a family member calling you, or a friend or a coworker or somebody that needs you in the moment, and you drop everything and you answer the phone, or you respond to the text message, or you're there for them, even though you're in the midst of your own stuff and it's not really the best time, right? How many of you have done it? I have, many times. And that's something that takes a lot of practice. And you've gotten really good at that now. And when we do that, they don't like it, but they eventually realize that, oh, okay, I need to respect her space and her time. And she's got a life too. And, it doesn't mean that you don't care when you create those boundaries. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means that you have self-respect and self-honor, and the need to honor and respect you as well. It's like when I get on this Zoom call, right? Or when I get in our circles or I'm doing a coaching session, my kids sometimes will call, right? And I'm like, I'm not going to answer when I'm on a Zoom call or in a circle or doing a Facebook Live. Do not call me at this time. And sometimes they forget mom's on a Facebook Live or doing a circle or coaching or whatever. And I tell them I love you and I'll be there for you and I'll call you later, like when I'm available. Now is not the time. And in the past I might be like, oh, hold on, I gotta go talk to my son. He's calling. My son can wait. It doesn't mean I don't love him. It doesn't mean I don't care and I'm not there for him. Right. And then they respect that. Oh, mom has a busy life too. Okay. Let's remember that, and you're doing it. You're the prime example of an empowered woman who loves, honors herself, and creates these incredibly healthy boundaries. And it shows, like, you're glowing. I just see this amazing glow about you. And I want to see what are some of the comments here. Let's see. Carrie Lynn says, yes, I have slowly let them go. She's talking about the toxic people. Not easy, but as time goes on, I see a difference in me. Awesome, Carrie Lynn. Leslie says, yes, my siblings are so unsupportive, critical, judgmental. In the short few months you've been in the sisterhood, the sisters are more like family, supportive, caring than your brother and sister. Sending you so much love, Leslie. I know your situation and we are always here. We are your sisters now. So you got a family for life here. Dora says, I remember such a quiet, reserved woman when she first met you 2.5 years ago, and now a bright smile and confidence and wisdom. It's a joy to experience and see your happiness and accomplishments shining through. Yay. How does that feel, April? Oh my gosh.
Good.
Oh my gosh, I have goosebumps all over. I'm just loving all the love. Carrie Lynn says, I would drop and go my whole life until I joined the sisterhood and I learned that it's okay to say no. That's right, Carrie Lynn. You go, girl. And Connie says, I have. Yeah. So wow. All right. So what would you say to somebody that is like wondering, should I join this sisterhood? Why would I want to join the sisterhood? What would you say to somebody who's new watching? Why would they want to join, or what can it do for them? How can it impact their life? If you were to speak to any woman out there watching right now that's not in the sisterhood, that's listening.
I would have to say, when I thought about joining, I was second guessing because I felt like these women are not right around the corner. They're not people I can talk to and see every day. But as I've joined, I've built a closer relationship with these women, regardless to where they are around the world. You don't have to be next door to somebody to have that support. These women are, you, like I said, you'd be surprised at how many women are going through the same thing that you're going through. And some of them have already passed what you've gone through. And that motivation can be the biggest support that you need when you think that you don't, but you do. And even still, I can still talk to these women. It doesn't matter whether I'm here or there. I'll pick up the phone and I'll call, or I'll get a phone call. It's about support. You need that support, whether you think you don't or not, but you do. And it doesn't have to come from, like I said, right around the corner. It can be miles away. Like, you're in Florida, I'm in California. And it's the best support that I have. And it's a positive in me moving forward in my life. And I love all these women. They're not just friends, they're family. I don't look at them as just women. Everybody's a family. And this is just my more extended family. And the more we bring in women, the more I talk to women, the bigger my family gets.
That's right. Wow. I love that. That's beautiful, April. Thank you for sharing that. I want to say one last thing. So one of the biggest things that I noticed happens for the women in the sisterhood who've done the group coaching programs and private coaching, but we're going to talk more about the group coaching because you and I have done some private coaching, but you were in the wellness program, and then you did the Nurture Your Petals group program, which is all about creating a life that you love. And really, that's where the big transformation comes, because you're with the same group of women over an extended period of time, journeying together, going through this healing and growth process, right? Week after week, you have accountability partners. You really get to know each other in a small, intimate container of safety. And we have a membership, which is amazing. And we meet monthly, virtually, and then locally. For the South Florida ladies, we meet every few months. Most of the women, I'd say more than 50% of our members are not in South Florida now, which is crazy. People think that all of our members, majority of them are in Florida. That is not true. That's how we started, 9-10 years ago, and we've evolved. And so what would you say to someone who is in the sisterhood or not in the sisterhood about the group programs and how that's made a difference and an impact in your life and your growth?
The group programs, I would say, are very beneficial. You having an accountability buddy, it's not a bad thing. That person is not there to talk down to you or negatives. Once you set goals, that person is there to help you succeed those goals. You're not able to make excuses of why I can't. They talk to you and they're like, okay, how would you feel if you don't do this? What can you do to change this? And you consistently having that woman right next to you, you build that bond, that relationship, that you get more comfortable talking to them about things that you would never talk to people about because you built that bond. Like I said, like you said, with the summer wellness and the petals, especially the Nurture Our Petals, that was like my biggest break was the two sisters I had. Like when I first started, we would make excuses of this, and this, but it was always, I'm held accountable for my actions. Like, it's not their job to say, okay, you need to do this. They were there to hear what I had to say and then also ask me, are you happy? What can you do to change it? You're not changing it for you, you're changing it for yourself. And those things consistently, those weekly conversations that we had, it started to make me be more aware that there are no more excuses. If I want to move forward, I have to do it. It's not other people's responsibility to do it for me, but I have somebody that's reminding me of what my goal is and not just stop in the middle. And that's what I've gotten from each one of our little group sessions that we have, whether it's the wellness, the petals, the 7-day. I have literally got that from all the women, regardless to who I'm set with as accountability, is I get support, but I also get that reminder of what was my goal when I started.
Mhm.
And once you complete that goal, you have somebody to celebrate with you that you did it.
I love it. Thank
Good.
you. So accountability is huge. Having an accountability partner, and currently we're in our Sister Mind, and I know you wanted to do Sister Mind, and April wasn't able to do it because of her school schedule, and they have class at that time and day. But another time we'll get you in Sister Mind. So we're currently in a group called Mentoring with Heart Sister Mind, where we mastermind. We call it a Sister Mind, and we meet once a week. It's a 7-week program. We just started it last week. So if there's anybody watching this going, well, I want to be a part of that, send me a message and we'll see if we could make that happen. But in the group program, that accountability that you have with that one-on-one, sometimes it's 2 people, sometimes it's one-on-one, sometimes it's 3 in a group, the consistency and somebody there, like you said, to celebrate you, not just to hold you accountable, to celebrate when you do what you said you were going to do. They're celebrating your little small wins and your big wins, and they're cheering you on, and they're like your little cheerleader too, right? They're encouraging you. So that's huge. Connie said, well said. Awesome. So any last words you want to say to the women watching tonight? I'm so, so proud of you. I can't wait to continue watching you grow and blossom like you are. You're an amazing woman. and you have so much to give to others. And I'm really grateful that you found us, because you give a lot to the sisterhood by simply showing up in your presence. You have given a lot to the women tonight. I know it was very inspirational for many women watching, and myself included. So thank you for being who you are and being willing to be raw, real, and vulnerable and authentic, because I know that it gives other women the courage so they can do it too. And they don't have to be alone. So what would you like to say as we close this Facebook Live, Sister Spotlight? Last words.
One of the best things you said is that with the women in this group, they show you don't have to be alone. There is support out there for you. You may not see it, but it's there. You may second guess it, but once you open that door, it's a door that you never want to close. I don't want to leave these women. I love these women.
I just love that. So that's the thing. That's awesome. So if you're a fellow sister who's actually a member, I want you to listen to April's words, because the key to receiving the support is showing up. And if you don't show up, you can't receive the support. So if you're a member of the sisterhood and you haven't been showing up, this is a reminder that you have this beautiful sisterhood here that's a family that will be there for you just like that. So remember, when we have our monthly circles, when we have different opportunities to show up, do your best to show up, because that's really all you have to do is show up. And once you show up, I always say your presence is enough. You get to receive from being there, and you're giving just by showing up. Your presence gives back to the group, right? When you show up, the women that you interact with are going to get what they need from you, just from you being there. You don't have to do anything, just be there. And then you always get what you need. Women always say, I got exactly what I needed when I went to Circle tonight. I'm so glad I showed up, or I'm so glad I did this group program, right?
Yeah.
So that's the key, is showing up. So thank you, April, for taking time out of your very busy schedule. I know you're a busy mom and wife and full-time student now. You're amazing, absolutely amazing. Any last words that anybody wants to put in the chat for April? Words of celebration or anything you want to say to April, please go ahead and put it in the chat. Kathleen says, I am so proud of you. I remember when you started on this journey. Yes, Kathleen, remember 2.5 years ago, she started on the journey. So it's really cool when your sisters watch your growth and then they reflect it back to you. That's one of the things I love about our sisterhood, is how we reflect each other's growth and brilliance and magnificence back to each other. We're mirrors for each other. So thank you, April, for being an inspiration. Keep on shining. I loved shining the light on you, sister. You are absolutely magnificent. And keep on doing what you've been doing, because it's obviously working. You're glowing. And I'm so happy for you. So thank you for being part of our sisterhood. We are blessed to have you as a lifetime member, and you are a part of this family forever, because you're a lifer. Karen, your friend, said, keep up the good work. And Connie said, keep going, sister. I love it. Thank you, ladies, for your encouraging words. I know April appreciates it. All right. Thank you to everyone who took time out of your busy evening to be here. And I would love it if you would share this video and tag your friends if this inspired you in any way. And anyone that's watching that's not a member, we want to invite you to join our community group if you're not in it. It's called I Am Complete Women's Community Group. Someone maybe put that in the chat for me. It is a free group. Join that group. And next month in February, we're going to be celebrating love all month long, because we're going to be talking about self-love. That is my specialty. Notice the little heart back there on the pillow. Notice my self-love mug that says, love yourself. I am a self-love strategist. So we're going to be talking about self-love all month long in February. Tomorrow night, we'll be back here for Transformation Tuesday, every single Tuesday evening at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time on the I Am Complete Woman page. So make sure you follow I Am Complete Woman, like our page, click get notifications when we go live so you can actually find us. And we'll be here tomorrow night, and next month it'll be again on the fourth Monday night of the month for the Magnificent Member Sister Spotlight. If you want us to shine the light on you and you have a story to share and you've grown in this sisterhood, we want you to share it because I know it's going to inspire others, just like April did. So thank you, April, for being the bold, courageous one to go first in 2024. You rock. All right. I'm gonna stop the recording and then we are going to say good night to everyone. Much love to all.